Hi, I'm Lauryn and I've had post-concussion syndrome. I played basketball ever since I was 4 years old. It started with my dad. He really loved the sport, so obviously he pushed his kids into it. We had a basketball court in our front yard, so we'd always go out there and shoot. And he pretty much put us in club basketball or AAU as soon as we could talk. I played for Team Durant, which was an EYBL basketball team, primarily circuit teams. So I was going on a lot of showcase tournaments. I would travel out of town, going to different states. And at one point, I was even invited abroad, overseas, to go play basketball for Team USA. That wasn't until I was around 15, so like my sophomore year of high school. I was pretty heavily recruited by college basketball teams as well. Traveling for sports was really fun. I enjoyed it. I loved being able to go places without my parents, but I also loved just playing the sport that wowed people. Honestly, my favorite part about playing basketball was making people look silly. So I liked being on the run, I guess. I don't know. That's the best way I could describe it. My home life wasn't necessarily the best, so being able to go somewhere else and have fun with my quote-unquote friends, which were really my teammates, was really enjoyable for me. So leading up to me receiving my concussion, which ended my basketball career, when I was younger, I had a few concussions from my brother. He was very playful and nonetheless not careful. That being said, I feel like I've had a few more concussions than just the ones that I played in basketball. But playing basketball, I was at an EYBL tournament and I had gone up for a layup and I was undercut. So going to the basket, in the air, my ankle or about my foot was hit by the shoulder of a girl who was running past me, under me, and it caused me to basically be completely horizontal in the air and fall onto my back. That's what gave me my concussion. I did not go unconscious, but I immediately felt terrible. My head hurt really badly, and I went to the trainers at the facility that we were at, and obviously I could no longer play after sustaining a head injury like that. But thereafter is when the symptoms didn't actually wear off. Most concussions are supposed to wear off within 2 to 6 weeks, from like nausea, vomiting, sensitivity to light and sound. But for me, those symptoms did not leave. They, in fact, got worse. So much worse to the point where I was having trouble speaking English, which was my first language. So much so to the point I couldn't attend a full day of school. I couldn't even go to school. The act itself of having to get up or walk around, I couldn't walk 15 feet without blacking out. I couldn't finish my schoolwork. I couldn't read the letters on the paper. It pretty much ruined the rest of high school for me. I struggled immensely just being able to keep contact with all of my relationships with my friends. I couldn't speak because to think, let alone just, it hurt. It hurt my brain so much. It would give me migraines, to do any task, really. So it completely impacted my life. And obviously, well, not obviously, I ended up going to several neurologist facilities, and of which all of the doctors told me that I could no longer play contact sports because at the rate I was going, if I were to sustain another concussion, I might not regain certain abilities. I was crushed. I think that there's a version of me I'll never be able to get back, and a future I'll never be able to get back. I coped with my depression through just taking life one day at a time. I couldn't do many tasks without them being infuriatingly hard because my new normal was now trying to keep my heart rate below a certain level so that I don't give myself a headache or vomit or get vertigo. I just tried to do what I could, which was usually just focus on eating, sleeping, and not getting sick. For me to get diagnosed, it wasn't until a year and a half out from that concussion that I mentioned, which was in high school. I had gone to different doctors, but instead of them giving me any kind of actual diagnosis, they were just like, hopefully it'll get better. They gave me different medications to help with the pain because I did have really bad migraines. But as far as resolving all my symptoms on a larger scale, including being overly emotional at times, I didn't have I didn't have anything to help me. And the worst part about it was going to a high school which pretty much dictated how they were going to grade you or your absences based off of doctor paperwork. I had nothing to give them, um, nothing at all. And of course, I had teachers that were understanding, but I also had those who were like, no, a concussion lasts 2 to 3 weeks, you're fine. So why are you not turning in your schoolwork? Why are you? And it just made it really hard for me because on my front, I trying to do everything that I can, and the times where I did try to do homework, I inevitably end up vomiting. But this was also around the time that there was a pandemic, so all we could do is online work, and I can't look at a screen without getting sick. So made high school extremely hard for me. But that being said, once I finally was diagnosed, my primary doctor at the time told me that he has no clue how I made it through school, which to that I say was nothing but just trying my best. My GPA had fallen pretty far, but to still be able to walk the stage, or not walk the stage, I ended up actually graduating at a basilica in Washington, D.C., but to be able to get my diploma was all that I was looking forward to. Just yesterday was the WNBA draft, and I watched a few of my friends get drafted, friends that I played on teams with, and it crushes me in some ways. But I've accepted that fate. I can't necessarily change my brain chemistry. I can't change things that have already happened in the past. I know what I can do, and that's spread awareness. Post-concussion syndrome is real and very much affecting female athletes. And if anything, I just would want to let people know that they're not alone and that you should seek help. If you think that you're not finding the answers that you need or you're not receiving the attention that you need, keep trying, keep looking, because it's definitely out there for you. And I definitely just now want to inform other players, if it's basketball or another sport, that they should protect themselves. If I knew post-concussion syndrome would be a reality or that all my dreams could shatter in front of my face, I definitely would have played a lot safer. I would have taken less risks. And yes, maybe that might have changed my status as a player, but I think I would prefer that than having to now constantly worry about concussions and what it would mean to get another one.